वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोर् श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधाकान्ता नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूप स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम जन्माद्यस्य तन्मयादितरतश्चार्थेषु तेने ब्रह्म हृदय आदि कवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, 3rd chapter, beginning from verse number 12. This is a description of Dasa sacrifice called Brihaspati Sava, which he performed after doing the Vajpaya. And he had invited all the different relatives, sages, but could not invite Lord Shiva. So his wife Sati, she heard the women talking on the aeroplanes which were going above Kailash, and she was very much desirous to go and attend this festival. So therefore she approached her husband, Lord Shiva, because without his permission she did not want to leave, and was trying to convince him to allow her to go. And this is what we were reading. And basically she was saying that she has not seen her sisters and mother and relatives for so long. Therefore she should be allowed to go, and also she would very much be part of this festival. Wants to see her birthplace. Although she said that as far as you are concerned, you are a realized person, you don't have interest in such things. But I am an ordinary woman and I am attached to these things. So this is what she was telling to Lord Shiva, and she continues to speak. So in this verse she says, Pasya prayanti rabhavanyoshito apyalankritaha kanta sakha varuthashaha Yasam brajadbhi shitikantamanditam nabho vimanehi kalahansa pandubhi. She said that, O Abhava, just see all these beautiful women who are all decorated nicely with beautiful ornaments, and they are along with their lovers. And Yasam Brajadbhi Siti Kantha Manditam. They are going and decorated very nicely in the plains which are golden in color. So he is again trying to impress upon Lord Shiva's mind that so many beautiful women, they are going and what am I doing here sitting in the mountain alone? No TV, no Facebook. So please allow me to go. So it's just like if you are sitting in your house, especially in India, and you see some nice marriage party on the road. Everybody likes to come out and see who's marries, which side, how many people, who is dancing, right? And this is happening in our own father's house. Everybody is going there, so naturally this is so much inspiring to go there and be part of it, like children. And this is an occasion also to bring out our all fancy saris and ornaments. Otherwise, day to day you don't use all these ornaments. So this is an occasion to show off and then talk about it. Where did you buy this? Which make is it? And what color? So this is one of the pleasure for ladies to decorate themselves and then talk about it. That's why she said that in the previous verse that I am just a woman in worship. And specifically she has used two words, alankrita, yoshitopi alankrita, women who are dressed up nicely, and manditam. Actually manditam is used for the sky. The sky is also decorated. That means there are so many. Like if you go to some big airports, New York or Munich or Frankfurt, you see how one after another the planes are coming, landing and taking off. So it became like that. And so many planes were just flying over Kailash, that Kalhansa Pandubhi, as if there were swans, white swans flowing in the sky. Let's see my commentary on this. So Sri Vishnu Chakravarti says, Na kevalam aham ekavata edrishi ityah pashyati. So he says that it is not only that I am desiring to go there or I am the only one who wants to go there. Look how many are going. So usually it is human mentality that you be with the crowd. If somebody has one type of hairstyle, then everybody wants to be like that. Right? Something becomes popular, then you have to be part of the group. You don't want to be left out. Otherwise everybody, whenever they will meet her, they will ask, oh, you didn't come for this? Why you didn't come? And it was so wonderful. Even if it was not, then they will definitely say how great it was. If someone is not doing something and you are part of it, and you really feel that you are superior. So, therefore he says that I am not the only one. Look at so many women. He abhava iti sruhed viyoga dukkham tvaya na anubhutam iti bhava. So she is calling him, previously she called him Bhava. Now she is calling him Abhava. So Bhava means the source of creation and Abhava means who is never born. So the meaning of this invocation is that because you are never born, you don't know what it feels like to be separated from your relatives. Because if you are not born, you have no relatives. So you are detached, and therefore you cannot understand. Anya yoshitaha sambandharahita api kanta shakha bhartri sahita varutsaha sanghasa yasam. So now previously she was saying that my sisters are going. Tasmin bhaganyo mai bhartribi swakai bhuvam gavishyanti srihuddha direkshaya. And my sisters will also come there. Now she is talking about just other women who are not even related to her, and they are going in groups. Varutsa means like a big army actually. A lot of people will go in. So Yasham Vimanai Vrajadbhir Nabho Manditam. So the sky is decorated with these planes. He Shiti Kanthayati Paranugrahaya Tvaya Vishwamapi Bhakshitamata Agyam Deiti Bhava. So she is addressing Lord Shiva also as Shruti Kantha. And usually the commentators, they try to bring out a meaning that why particular name is being used to address. There is some significance in it. So Shruti Kantha means who has this throat bluish in color. And because Lord Shiva is called Nilkantha, Shruti Kantha. So Sri Vishwanath says that this is to signify that you are so generous that you even drank poison to do welfare to others. So at least you can be this much generous that you allow me to go to my father's house. This is what she means. Then she says, Katham sutayaha pitrigeha kautukam nishamya deha survarya nengate anahutapyabhiyanti sauhridam bhartur guru deha kritascha ketanam. He says that how is it possible that after hearing that there is a big occasion, big festival in the house of the father, that a daughter's body will not shake, means will not become desirous to go there. O best of the suras or gods. And if Lord Shiva says that we are not invited, so why do you want to go there? Because one should not go without invitation. If you go there and you are not allowed, then you feel insulted. So she gives a logic. He says, Anahutapya viyanti sauhridam bhartur gurur deha kritasya ketanam. That those who are gentle people, they go to the house of husband, guru. Guru could be father-in-law or teacher or anybody senior, and the father. It says that in their house you don't need an invitation to go there. You don't need to make a telephone call. You want to visit your father, you can just go. So he says, this is my father's house. Even without invitation I can go there. If someone is not your father or your husband, then you should not go there in any occasion without invitation. So this is what she gives the reasoning to go there. So he comments, Aham tu tasya kanya bhutva katham dhairyam dhasyami ityaha katham. He says, I am the daughter of Daksha. So how can I maintain my fortitude after knowing that such a big sacrifice is going on there? Naingte na drashtum prachalati. How is it possible that my body will not naturally move to go there? So you can actually imagine how eager she is. And just like children in the house, and they are not allowed to go and play outside. And all other children, they are making noise on the playground and they are just inside the house. So how much curious they are to be part of that crowd. So like that she is feeling. And so he says, how is it possible that my body will not move to go there? Nanu tadapi anahutaha katham gaccham. So if Lord Shiva says that, how can we go, we are not called there. So then she speaks the next line. Anahuta api swahridam sruhida ketan gruham guru swasurasya dehikritasya pitusya. She says that even if we are not called, we go to the house of people such as Guru, which means your father-in-law and father, and husband. So therefore there is no need for invitation. Tanme prasidadam amartya vanchitam kartum bhavan karuniko batarhati tvayatmano ardheyaham adabra chakshusha nirupita manugrahana yachitaha. So now she is further trying to request him. Taname prasida idam amartya vanchitam. He says, be pleased with me and give me this boon or fulfill this my desire. Bhavan karuniko bat arhati. Why? Because you are very merciful or gracious. So she was really bent on going there. There was no need to press so much, because Shiva is not even saying a word. She is going on, but she feels that he is not budging from his stand. So she comes to the ultimate limit of saying that Tvaya Atmano Ardhe Aham Adabra Chakshusha, that you have accepted me as your half. So wife is considered as better half, right? So at least the worse half has to listen to the better half. That is the meaning, otherwise why is he saying? Otherwise, what is the meaning of better half? If better half's request is not accepted, then she is not a better half. So she says, Tvaya Atmano Ardhe Aham Adabra Chakshusha. You are Adabra Chakshusha, you have a great vision, you know everything. And Nirupita, you have accepted me. Because Lord Shiva is not only just that she is a wife and therefore better half, but actually there is a form called Ardhanarishwara of Lord Shiva, in which half side is Parvati and half side is Shiva. So he is actually accepted. Usually wife is considered as half only because of the marriage, but in case of Shiva, he and Parvati are actually in one body. So that is the meaning of Atmane Ardhayam Madam Chakshusha Nirupita Manugrahane Yachita. Therefore, you fulfill my desire. I am begging you for this. Yadi te nasti jagamisha tadapi madanurodhena kripya gaccha ityaha tanmeiti. So if Lord Shiva says that I have no desire to go there, then she says that you should go on my request. That's what she says, that Tanme Amartya. You are Amartya or deathless, because if he has no birth, then there is no death. Those who are born, they die. Those who die, they take birth. But if there is no birth, there is no death. He Deva Tvaya Akartavyam api Kritam Ityaha Adabra Chakshusha Analpa Jnanena Atmaramena Atmano Dehasya Ardhe Aham Nirupita Dhrita Yato Ardhanarishwaraiti Khato Asyato Mama. So you have done something which nobody has done, and that is that you are actually Adabra Chakshusha, means you are a realized person. You are an Atmaram. And being an Atmarama, you are married. So this is very amazing. Why would an Atmarama marry? Atmarama is taking pleasure in his own self. Doesn't need a wife. So why get unnecessary trouble if one is already fully satisfied in oneself? So he says that you have, although you are Adabra Chakshusha, you have full realization, which means to translate this as Atmaram, and yet you have accepted me as part of your half body, and you are known as Ardhanarishwara. So you are very Karunika. Bhavan Karuniko Batarhati. Very, very merciful. Therefore, please give me permission to go there. So, this is what she requested to him. Nothing more, what more she can say? So therefore, Rishi Ruvacha Maitreya, he is telling this to Vidura, he said, Evam giritrah priya vibhashitah pratyabhyadatte prahasan suhrit priya sansmarito marma bhiday kuvagishun yanahiko visvasrijam samakshatah. Says in this way, when Lord Shiva was spoken to by his dear wife, then he laughed and replied, being very dear. And the words of Sati has reminded him the arrows which had pierced his heart in the sacrifice 1000 years ago. Yanahiko Vishwasvidam Samakshata. So those words which were spoken while everybody was listening there, so he remembers them. So that means Lord Shiva, when he was sitting in that assembly, when Daksha cursed him, speaking all these harsh words, he was not so much in meditation that he did not know that Daksha has come. So it was also on part of Shiva that he was not really interested in honoring this guy. Otherwise, how is it that he heard all these words, but he did not see when Daksha moving? So Lord Shiva also has not so much liking for him. So he thought it's alright, maybe he will not notice it, and remain sitting quietly. And Daksha was probably specifically looking for him only. Otherwise, how is that out of thousands of people, he only noticed him that he is not standing. So he says, Sansmarito marma bhiday kuvavacham. And second thing is that, although he is Atma Rama, but these words also pierced him. So he is not indifferent that he doesn't feel or he does not know. Many times when it is said that you remain indifferent to honor and dishonor, okay, he remained indifferent, he did not say anything. But it does not mean that he did not feel it. It's not that he's not alive, it's not that he's a stone piece. So when Krishna says that one should remain manapamaniyo tulya mitrari pakshayo, that you remain equal to enemy and friend, equal in honor and dishonor, it does not mean that you don't know what is honor and what is dishonor. Otherwise, how do you remain equal? If I say that you remain equal when you are hungry or when you are eaten, that means you have to first know what is hunger and what is not hunger. So that means Lord Shiva knew what is respect and what is disrespect. And he did feel that these words were disrespectful in front of everybody, including his father. But he remained balanced. So it's not that if someone becomes self-realized and he does not feel what is hot and what is cold. Actually, they become more sensitive. Like animals, they are less sensitive to heat and cold than human beings. Why is that? Because human beings have more awareness. And a person who is like Atma Rama, they are completely aware. That's why they are called enlightened, awakened. So their awareness is fully awake. So they are actually more sensitive than a common person. Many times you say, oh, this guy is thick-skinned. Means insensitive. So they are not thick-skinned, they are very sensitive. That is another thing, that their awareness is fixed internally. But it does not mean that they don't feel or they don't understand what is respect, what is disrespect, what is heat, what is cold, what is hunger, what is food. They feel it. And they feel it so much that he is remembering till now. He did not forget. He says, Sansmarito marma bhidai ko agusam. That he was reminded. So that means all this disrespect which was given to him is lying in his chitta. And all the samskaras are coming out. Sansmarita means remembering your old experience. So Kuvag Ishun, and there are two types of arrows. One is the arrow you shoot from the bow, another is the arrow which comes from the speech. So this is the arrow of speech which goes inside. The arrow, physical arrow only hurts your body and it is healed. It may take a few months. But the arrow which hurts the heart, very difficult to heal. So therefore he says that Yana Go Vishwasya Jam Samakshata. So which was spoken by Ka here is Daksha, that in front of all the Prajapatis he spoke all these statements. So he is feeling very, very much hurt. So now he gives a very nice comment on this. Ko Daksho Yana hai, Ka here means Daksha, which was spoken by him. Tan marma bhiday katu vak sharam priyaya smarita. So these sharp words of Daksha were reminded to Shiva. So a question is raised on him. Nanu Daksha prayuktaha katu vagishavah svi Shivasya atmaramasya marma katham bhinnati. And how is it possible that the sharp words of Daksha, they can pierce the heart of Lord Shiva, who is an Atmarama? Because he is not an ordinary Atmarama, he is beyond. Although Atmaramas can be sensitive, but if his awareness is internal, then he is not even aware what is happening outside, which is understood from his behavior that he was sitting there meditating inside and not aware of what is going on outside. So how is it that he heard these words and felt insulted? This is very strange. So he gives one very nice explanation. Uchyate, that it is answered as follows. Shivasya parameshwaratvat atmaramatvam asti. That Lord Shiva, because he is a Parameshwara, he is also an avatar of Lord Vishnu. He is a good avatar. Then he is Parameshwara, he is the controller. And we read previously that in the first chapter that how he came as one of the three deities to bless Atri. Because Atri was meditating on the controller of the universe. So as a Parameshwara, as the controller of the universe, he is an Atmarama, and then this will not affect him. But he is also in charge of Tamoguna. Tamoguna yuktatvat cha kadachit parameshwariya ananusandhane sati soka moha raga dveshadayopi bhavanti. So, but sometimes he is influenced by Tamoguna. And when he is influenced by Tamoguna, then he forgets that he is a Parameshwara. But both are not possible. And when he is under the influence of Tamoguna, then the influence of Tamoguna also affects him in the form of Shoka, Moha, Raga, Dvesha. sadness, delusion, attachment, dislike, all these dualities, they can influence him. And this is what happened to him. So this is very... like this. Then he gives another example. This is a transcendental example. Because Atmarama is a neutral stage. So there, either you are down in the modes, in the gunas of Prakriti, and you become influenced, and then the duality comes. And if you rise above that, then you come to a state which is the neutral state. It's like you are under the gravitational field of Earth. Then if you sit in a rocket and you go out, then you reach a state where you are out of Earth's gravitational field. And you have not entered the gravitational field of another planet, whichever you are going towards. So you remain in a gravity-less state. Then you are not influenced by anything. You are not neither going this side nor are you going to that side. If you are in the air, you can remain in the air. Then you move further and you enter into the orbit of another planet. Then you are being influenced by the gravity of that planet. So this also happens here, that either you are under the influence of Maya, Mahamaya, or you are under the influence of Yoga Maya, and then there is an in-between state where these two energies are balanced. Neither Mahamaya is pulling you nor Yoga Maya is pulling you. That is called Atmaram. That is called Brahman realization. So he gives another example of opposite side. This is a side where Atmarama is coming down to the gunas, and this other is the when Atmarama is going above. So he says, Tathaiva Krishnasya Sadaiva Atmaramatve Sri Yashoda Sri Baldevadi Sri Gopikadi Vishishtatve Premvatvadeva Sriya Parameshwari Ananusandhanat Shoka Moha Raga Dveshadeva. He says, in the same way Krishna is Atmaram. He is not influenced by anything. But when he is under the influence of the love of Yashoda or Baldev or Gopis, then he forgets about his Atmaram, that he is a Parmeshwar or the Supreme Lord. He also becomes sad, he also becomes bewildered, angry, attached. All these feelings come in. Otherwise, how is it that he becomes attached? So that's why Krishna says that Samoham sarvabhutesu na me dveshvasti na priya. Ye bhajanti to mam bhaktya maite tesu chapti. That I am equal to all, nobody is dear to me, nobody is my enemy. This is Atmaram stage. Atmaram is like that. That's what Atmaram means, that my attachment is only to my own self, to Atma or Brahman, whatever you call it. So if one has to be attracted to somebody, then you have to give up that Atmaram platform. So therefore he says that, but those who worship me, then I cannot remain Atmaram. Then his Atmaramatva is lost. And then he says that I am in them and they are in me. So he becomes biased. He becomes influenced. So then he can be influenced by the association of his devotees. If he loses his devotee, or his devotee is happy, or somebody is doing something to his devotee, he can get angry. When he was driving the chariot of Arjuna, and Bhishma started shooting Arjuna to kill him, and Arjuna was in trouble, then he became very angry. He became so angry that he forgot completely. He ran, he jumped from the chariot and took a broken wheel to hit Bhishma. And he was running with such a great power that Arjuna was trying to stop him. He said, come on, what are you doing? You have taken a vow not to lift a weapon. And Krishna said, hell with the war. I'm going to finish this old guy. So Arjuna was actually, then he ran and he was holding him from the back to stop him. And Krishna dragged him. He was Arjuna was being dragged. You can imagine the scene. And he was so angry and holding this wheel in his hand and moving towards Bhishma. And Arjuna is holding him from the hip with his both hands tightly, and his both knees are on the ground to pin him down. And Arjuna is not a weak person. So he dragged him along. He completely forgot. So then when Bhishma saw this, then he said that now I'm satisfied. This is the scene which he remembered when he was dying. This, you can imagine what a marvelous scene it must be, that Krishna, his uttariya fell off, his crown was on the ground, his hair is flowing, and his body was also having blood from the arrows. He is holding this wheel and looking so powerful, and Arjuna is trying to pin him down. So for Bhishma this was a meditation. He dropped everything and he folded his hands. That this is what I want to see. Because he wanted to see Krishna in that virras, that heroic form. Because he is a Kshatriya. It's alright, Krishna is God, this, that, but Bhishma wanted to see Krishna in that virras. So he felt completely satisfied, and this is what he remembered. It must have made such a great impression on his mind. So this is what happens. And that's why many times people, they cannot understand Krishna's behavior. Because it looks like behavior of an ordinary person, that he is attracted to women, he is doing this, he is doing that. But this is nothing to do with any material activity. This is the love. He reciprocates the love of his devotees. He becomes hungry. How can Atma Rama be hungry? So because of the love. So kintu shivasya tamogunodbhutaste dukkha bhasa anubhavmaya krishnasya pramodbhutaste ananda paramakashta anubhavmaya. So although he has given the example of Krishna, but he makes a distinction between the two of them. He says that in case of Shiva, this feelings of distress or unhappiness, they come from tamoguna. They are material. And although they are not overpowering him completely, therefore he says dukkha bhas anubhavana. And there are also semblance of suffering or distress or misery. They are not also like ordinary person. Shiva is not an ordinary person. But in case of Krishna, these anger, distress, attachment, they are manifestation of pure love. It is out of love that he acts like that. And therefore they also give supreme bliss to him. Because love only gives happiness. There is no suffering in love. Even if the person seems like suffering, that suffering is also pleasurable within. Even if the person seems distressed or angry, that also is pleasurable. So therefore he says that Ananda Param Kastha Anubhavana, that these are actually the ultimate limit of bliss, these types of feelings. If he is angry, and this is, don't think that this is an angry of this material world which comes out of rajas, passion. His anger is coming out of love, as he became angry because he had so much love for Arjuna, and this gives him immense bliss inside. So that is the distinction, and ordinary person will not understand this. Premna Chit Shakti Sar Vrittitvad Atma Ramattvasya api asankochaka. So because this prema, this love, is so powerful and so wonderful that it can contract one's state of being in Atmarama. That one's Atmaramatva or being an Atmaramaness is thrown away by the love. One cannot hold on to this state of Atmarama because of the power of love. So just like if you have love for somebody and something happens to that person, good or bad, you cannot remain neutral. You read something in newspaper or you see something, some catastrophe happening on the TV, you watch it, some plane crash, you are sipping your tea or your coffee, it doesn't bother you. But if you have one relative who was on that flight, then you cannot sit and just sip your coffee and not feel disturbed in the mind. It's just impossible. Why is that? Because of your love, your attachment that makes you move away from that balanced state of indifference. So that also happens to Krishna, that although he is indifferent, he is balanced, he is Atmaram, he is self-satisfied. But if there is a devotee, then his love for his devotee makes him also disturbed. Although that disturbance is also spiritual. It is not a material thing. Asuradi hinsadeyastu sattva gunkarya eva gunanam paraspar upmarditvat yatha prakasho andhakaram hanti tathayo sattva gunastamuramsi hanti. As far as his killing of the asuras is concerned, that he does not do personally. This is done by the sattva guna. So that's why many times it is said that when Krishna kills the demon, then it is the Vishnu part which is doing. Because Vishnu is in charge of sattva. And just as sattva subdues rajas and tamas, so Krishna's sattva potency subdues the asuras. So rajas tamo vibhuya sattvam bhavati bharata. Rajas sattvam tamaschayu tamas sattvam rajas tatha. So the gunas are subduing each other, so sattva subdues rajas and tamas. So it says that this is just job of sattva guna. Gunanam parasparam upmarditvat yatha prakasho andhakaram hanti. As the light removes darkness, in the same way sattva guna dispels tamas and rajas, which is manifesting as an asura or demoniac person. Demoniac person is nothing but a person under the influence of rajas and tamas. Tathaiva Krishna asuradin nihanti iti suddha sattva rupe tasmin prakrit sattva karyaste vartmana api naapkarka iti prathmayeva vyakhyatam saptamaram hikshadakshati. So in the same way says when Krishna kills the asuras, then although he is a Suddha Sattva, he is absolutely transcendental, not touched by material gunas at all. But this killing is Prakrit Sattva Karya, Te Vartman. These are the works done by Prakrit Sattva and Api Naapkarka. And therefore this also does not do harm to them. Means these acts of killing, etc., are also not harmful to anybody. Even when he is destroying them, he is giving benefit to them, he is liberating them or doing something else. So he says, iti prathmeva vyakyatam saptam arambha suyakti. It was explained earlier in the first canto. And in the beginning of 7th canto, there will be a very wonderful discussion about this. Because this question will be asked, why that God takes sides. He is Samapriya Swarit Brahman, Bhutanam Bhagavan Swayam Indriyasya Katham Vyathyana Vidhi Vishnayatha. That he is equal, he is dear, he is friend, he is for everyone. So why that he kills the demons to help Indra? So this question will be asked, and then a very nice answer given by Sukadeva, and wonderful commentary by Jiva Goswami as well as Srimad Chakravarti, that how these gunas are working under the influence of Lord Vishnu. So this is his commentary on this. We'll stop here if there is any question.
Just about this anger of Krishna and this anger of Shiva.
Better to be object of Krishna's anger than Shiva's anger. Because one is coming from Tamaguna and one is transcendent.
So Tamaguna is destroying and transcendent is giving power.
You were mentioning that Krishna gives up his Atmaramatva. And, so, does he do that when the devotee who is practically also Atmarama also gives up his Atmaramaness?
No, but how is devotee Atmarama?
So devotee doesn't necessarily have to be Atmarama for Krishna to give up his Atmaramaness?
No, devotee is above Atmarama. That's why he's a devotee. He's already given up Atmarama.
So that's what I mean. So he has already, that's the prerequisite for Krishna to give up his Atmaramaness.
Otherwise, how is he a devotee? Because Atmarama will be just Atmarama. It's like Shanta Bhakta. Shanta Bhakta means Atmarama. So Krishna also remains Shanta with them.
Yes. Isn't it that the Atmaramas are they've transcended the modes of nature?
Yeah.
You know, in the 14th chapter it discusses that here. But so because Shiva is a Gunavatar, then that's
because he has to be with the gunas to take care of them. So he cannot completely denounce them. Otherwise he cannot function. It's like if you have coal mines. So you are not working as a worker inside the coal mine. But still, you get like coal. You have to supervise, sometimes go there. So once in a while you get little coal dust.
So, when Krishna, out of law of prema, he becomes influenced by Soka and Moha, and many examples are given in Bhakti Rasamrita, usual mean money. So, those Soka and Moha, which is part of the Tamoguna, but they are not there in a Suddha Sattva or in a Yogamaya, right? Yogamaya doesn't have any divisions like this.
No, it has. They are manifestation of Suddha Sattva. Krishna's Soka Moha, they are manifestation of Sattva. Actually, the phenomena is same. The difference here is that here we become Shoka and Moha because of ourselves. And there we become Shoka and Moha for the sake of Krishna, or if it is Krishna, for the sake of devotee. In other words, here, yat yat karoti jantu tat tat kamasya chestatam. Whatever you do here, you are doing because of kama, means material desire, which is for the self. And self here means body and mind. And then in spiritual world, whatever they do, that is only for the sake of prema, which means it is for the sake of the object of love, which is Krishna. So here in the material world, one is self-centered. There in the spiritual world, one is Krishna-centered. Or self-centered in the true sense of the word self. Because Krishna says that he is the Atma of the Atma. He is our real self. So here we are body-centered. So there we are self-centered. So therefore here everything you do, it is because of something which is related to my body. Even if I am giving up my body for the sake of others, it is because I am identifying with something material. It's all with identification. And there we identify with the Supreme. So therefore those emotions are coming from the Sthai Bhava. That is the whole description, Bhakti something, all this Sanchari Bhava, this Danya, Moha, everything is there. So those are all manifestations of soul.
So they are not like divisions like division of the Prakriti Guna then in that sense. Though it appears to be the same thing. In Sthai Bhava you may have, in Sanchari Bhava you may have Sokha and Moha, but they are not part of the Tamoguna in that sense described. And while in Mahamaya it is described as the Tamoguna.
You can say that it's transcendental Tamoguna. That's how Vallabhacharya describes. When he says these are Sattviki Gopi, Tamsi Gopi, Rajasi Gopi, it doesn't mean material Sattvic, Tamsic, Rajasi. People think that. It means gopis who have knowledge about Krishna, then that is Sattvic, and gopis who are Rajasi means they are very much attached. They are like that.
So when Krishna needs to kill a demon, he incarnates in the Vishnu form?
Vishnu is already there, he has everything in him. I mean, if he is personally, even when he is personally killing a demon, it is a Vishnu feature which kills.